can do it. So can he do it here?
Now, we are going to be going into the pick and bans here, right? So, Darkling, anything in specific that we need to be looking out for in terms of priority?
Instantly, I'm looking at the AD carries, and I'm thinking the Seri Aphelios method likely still existing. Yuumi as well, still very strong. The Seri already taken off the table. No surprise there. I'm honestly happy these AD carries are being removed because I want to see some diversity.
We have seen some Karthus being brought out in the Prime League. Only one game though, right? AP bot laners may be a priority for the next patch, right, but not necessarily on this patch right now. Aphelios 100% pick and ban pretty much across a lot of leagues that have been playing on 13.10.
Yeah, and large amount of that is because when Zeri Lucian gets removed, most people default back to what was strong on the old meta, which was this Jinx Aphelios matchup being repeated ad nauseum. And no matter how many times I played this out, people didn't realize you should prioritize the Jinx first. Now that both Zeri and Lucian are removed, we could see a switch to that. Or we could start to get a sense of the actual champ pools we're going to see from Hiddo and from Rusty Sniper moving forward. Interesting to bring up Karthus. Indecision does actually have a history on Karthus in LFL too. So if they do move towards Yuumi is up, if they do move towards those kinds of picks, Indecision is someone that can do it. Interesting to see how this Yuumi gets paired and what the response is going to be from the opponents now.
All right, Darkling, you are, our resident, I would say, Div 2 expert here. Rusty Sniper and Poopy obviously played together on Thunder last year. Are we going to be seeing a Draven come? Okay. Is this something that you've seen Rusty Sniper bring out before, Darkling?
Yeah, I think I remember Rusty Sniper having played this before competitively, so not completely something that's being unexpected, but it is still a surprise, I would say. There are more meta AD carries I would see first. Maybe the Saya or the Aphelios would be the safe bets, but I mean, I like the Draven. I like the aggression it offers, especially against the Yuumi, right? Who, if you catch her off her target or off her allies, she is very squishy and easy to kill.
Yeah, I mean, Yuumi is a champion that's going to benefit very hard from long trades and is someone where if you can interrupt her when she's unattached, that's the best case scenario against her. Draven fits both of those molds. Stand aside allows him to separate her from her AD carry, and he is a heavy all-in champion. With the Jarvan, you have a heavy all-in pairing based around bot lane that's not going to give Yuumi the time to allow those shields, those heals, there's additional contests, there's additional sustain to bring her AD carry through. Ezreal, that man's job is very simple. Survive right now. We're on the final level of Halo Reach here as him, because if this Draven starts popping off, he'll be a menace. It's new Trinity for Ezreal though, right? This guy can be a menace himself if he's allowed to curve into the game. Draven Jarvan, obviously, they don't want to let that happen.
That's not a move. That's actually really exciting. Would expect that to go support, obviously, but that just, as you say, just yells for the all-in, right? You're gonna have a lot of fighting down in the bot lane. I think you highlighted it perfectly, Veteran. It's all about the North bot lane just trying to survive here.
Yeah, so again,
100%. Interesting to see what they do into the next phase, because everything is being matched. So the decision is, do you blind top or do you blind mid on next? I would normally assume you'd go for blind top, and the most common one would be Cassante on 4. That's the one that we normally see done in competitive regions. If Cassante gets removed, then you start moving down this tree, right? Gnar could be a blind, or maybe you could see that this Uko guy really loves to do like a bruiser stat checking top. Stuff like this is what I'm wondering now, right? Like, what is it they're going to want to do? Because I don't think you want to give Omen, a guy we've said is very aggressive with these kinds of assassin-y picks, the ability to counter pick mid lane. So interesting to see what happens there. Nord obviously know that they want to get Omen a position where he's not just going to get bullied in lane and he can actually go for all-ins. Silas, Ari have been knocked out. So even though all these are mid bans, I still think you're likely to just see on 4 Cassante here into mid counter pick, because if they give Omen counter pick with Vi on the table, I think it could go very bad very fast for Uniq. Do we say Unique Corn in mid lane, or like what do we?
I think it's just Unique Corn. I don't think we should dare say double Unique. That's gonna sound weird.
Here comes Unique Corn. It's a time for him to find his mid laner. Yeah, you can do some interesting things with that for sure. But
it is a really trim mid lane pool though. I mean, I like the Owen. I think Owen is a standard safe pick. It's even if he's not the best champion, he's always really useful, I would say. For Mosso, that still leaves the Cassante open, right? So Cassante could still be picked here. You could obviously also go for other Ornn counters if you feel like
not now.
It.
Yeah, exactly. Like, now that Ornn's being picked, I think you look at stuff like Gwen, right? Cassante is much harder to just immediately counter than an Ornn is. There are things you can pick, though they may be thinking we need some form of engage because we win the Yuumi. Crucially, though, they have not allowed Oman to get a counter pick, but he's getting the Nico. Oh man, this is
gonna be
officially
fun.
a range pick comp. Yep, it's a range pick comp with a very aggressive mid laner with a lot of all-in potential. There's the Gwen hover. You have an AD jungler. It looks like they are going to commit to this Gwen. So we're looking at a 4-1 siege pick comp from Nord, and let's see if Uniq just continue to go for their all-in on last pick. Not quite sure how useful the Ornn's going to be, given that you're into a Ezreal and into a Gwen now, right? Like, it's very easy to counter Zar2. Victor will be the pick. So, Uniq, very simple, front-to-back composition, blow them up. Just blow them up immediately. Do not give them the chance to run away with the game. Nord, they want to split up Unique's picks. They have pressure in lane, except for bot lane, to be able to do that, right? And then try to make picks in the jungle. Very clear win conditions from both teams, and a very interesting draft.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll be looking for the bot lane. That's what I'm looking in terms of action, right? We have to see the all-ins. Can they come through from Uniq? Can they build a lead? Because I feel like if they fail to do that and fail to have any success within the first 10-15 minutes, Hido's going to survive. He's going to scale up. He has the Yuumi with him, and then with the rest of the team. I think Nord should be good enough to play this. They have some really, really good coaches. And if there's any team who I back to go really far in this tournament, then I think it is Nord, because I respect that coaching team a lot. I know what they can do. So even if I don't know all these players too well, I believe that given with time, they should just keep growing. And I think they can execute a comp like this, even if it is harder to execute than the comp of Unique's.
I have one big question, though. And this is going to be a question for Uniq specifically. Can they count? Because, like, all of a sudden, Nico's going to show up, you know?
Oh, yeah, count the minions. Yeah, you're able to count the minions.
You got to be able to count.
What's interesting when you bring that up, Weta, it's difficult to notice from spectate, but a lot of the times it actually just doesn't matter if you can count. Because if Nico comes in with Flash, with Proto Belt, with anything like this, Nico is going to pounce on you before the other minions come out of the Shadow Realm there. So even if you can count, this is what's really broken. Even if you can count, it's too late. Nico's already on you before you're able to count how many minions are in that wave. It's disturbing right now, and hopefully we're going to see some very disturbing gameplay coming out of Oman, because it never stops being funny. It just never stops being funny. And eventually the enemy mid laner gets Pavloved into just staying under tower until the whole minion wave's there.
Obviously, the game is loading up here, so we are still going to be ready to go in just a second here. Again, I want to get some predictions here. I don't think that there's going to be any disagreement here, but are we saying Uniq, can they win here, or is it going to be Nord taking it? Because we're going to talk about this. Unique's comp, very easy to execute compared to the one coming out of Nord.
I mean, if Uniq snowball their bot lane, then yes, of course. I don't think it's not the tankiest lineup that you have over on the side of Nord. So if you go up against a very fed Draven, all of a sudden you could have some troubles, right? Yes, you have tools to lock him down, especially with the Vi ultimate I'm really looking at, but the cease and desist, if you're too far ahead as a Rusty Sniper, you just don't care. So it's all about if Rusty Sniper can get ahead and if he can keep snowballing the game. Otherwise, I favor Nord 9 out of 10 times.
Yep, they're going really hard on this invade on bot lane level 1 as well. They're looking to see if they can make any kind of a pick. Get that Draven snowballing early, because you are completely correct. It's entirely dependent on that Draven being snowballed. If that Draven does not get ahead, then Gwen is simply going to buy time for the Nord team to curve into the game, going to get a lot of pressure in those side lanes later on, and if she's able to do that, we're looking at jungle control, we're looking at split picks, you're having to catch too many waves, you're having to transition within jungle to get to those waves to shadow your laners, and in those transitions, that's when Nico pops out, that's when Vi pops out, that's when Gwen starts getting flanks. If Gwen can get flanks on the Draven, suddenly Draven isn't very good at front to back. There are so many routes if the Draven can't just walk forward at all points for Nord to be able to take this game back. So it's going to be a very early game focused game, and let's see what happens.
Well, it's a great highlight, right? Because instantly Uniq have decided to go in and do some counter jungling, be able to steal that first red buff away. Poopy will take some damage in return. It is known information that has happened, so obviously Indecision will simply play around it, having started his wolves without a leash.
Looks like he's actually intending to contest the Jarvan as a level 2 Vi versus level 2 Jarvan. If Jarvan's used his E on the wave, then it's possible. Otherwise, honestly, Vi not that useful a champion at this level. It looks like Waldo did not claim the entirety of the camp, but Indecision has to abandon, and Waljo knows that Vi has indeed abandoned bot side. So if you're playing with this kind of information, Really, Indecision's hobbies is basketball. Interesting.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Maybe he can dunk on some people this game.
Potentially, but it's not a good start to do so. That being said, they were able to secure a really strong matchup in top lane. It's now going to be, do you accelerate mid-top faster than...
I mean, he's going for it. He's already used the flash down in the mid lane. Flash force as well from Unicorn. We didn't quite get to see the exchange, but stuff went down. First gank already coming through. Has timed the flash as well, so that's a 5-minute window now to try and punish Unicorn just a little bit more if he gets the right opportunity.
Flash down on the Vi 2. Vi level 2 midsection gank is something that used to be a big hallmark on her. The issue is that you have to burn flash to have the pressure there as well. But it worked out. Omon has a really good lane state for himself to try to bully Korn. Korn pretty much only has the mana to clear the wave once here, and if Omon's able to play on that with his biscuits, then Korn could be in a very bad position.
I mean, both Flash and Cleanse has been used here. It is exactly what Uniq wants to do, of course. Try and get that bot lane ahead. So far, they have forced both sums, and they are forcing this XP and gold away from the pockets of Hito and Seneca. So, very hard situation here for the North bot lane to find themselves in, but they are surviving.
Yep, Indecision's here to try to defend on
Flash forward, Omen finds the solo kill to kick off our summer split. He does it in style.
Yep, Indecision set that up by burning the Victor flash early on. Victor, very, very low on mana there, didn't really have a good way. If you have to choose between using mana either on the wave or on your opponents, you're already in a bad position, whereas Omen had those biscuits to sustain himself, so really well played by both Omen and Indecision there. The 2v2 mid jungle that we had questions about, it's starting off on a really good track. But bot lane, look at this difference between the Draven and the Ezreal. It has not translated into a kill yet, but you can clearly see the potential there. They did try to use that map split to get a kill on bot side. Instead, they get the play and they get a lot of zoning out from the Draven. It's still a huge advantage for him, but you do feel like you want more here, right? It's not enough for Draven to get a lead. Others must suffer. Or Gwen is going to be a big issue later on. Omon is going to be an even bigger issue later on. The entire map setup later could be a huge issue if this Draven isn't properly snowballing.
Yeah, I agree. It has to be, you know, a massive snowball. It can't just be, yeah, I'm 2 plates up and 10 CS. That's not gonna be a big enough of a difference maker. You want to put Hito so far behind, you can't really feel it in the game. And they have the opportunity to do that with the Cleanse and Flash still being on cooldown. Rusty Sniper having both his sums could look to go forward. Obviously, Poopy missing his flash, that's a bit of a bummer, but with Wooljo still hovering in the area, a game could happen very soon, right?
Wooljo hovering with double longsword as well, actually was able to recall on a double longsword back timing, whereas the Vi is a recalling behind, so you can match anyway. You win any 3v3, you win any 2v2.
Yeah, I mean, Indecision is on its way down towards the bot lane here. Maybe they want to fight it because they don't seem happy to give up this XP again. They get some of it, but they do lose a bit as well. Rusty Sniper will keep his lead and will keep taking away at the plates as well, but Uniq still unable to find that first kill. More importantly, Rusty Sniper building up those adoration stacks. We just need to wait for that cash in and see if he can really snowball from there.
We haven't looked at the other side of it as well. You have this Gwen into the Ornn, and the Gwen is looking to be a big difference maker for the Nord. No acceleration plays have been made around her either. She's silently scaling here. Now she's on 6. On 6, she becomes a really big issue for the Ornn. Let's see if Indecision changes with regards to how he's playing the map. Now he's playing a very defensive bot side. You now have the option to go really aggressively on top side and start looking to trade.
Yeah, in the mid lane, ultimate has been used by the side of Unicorn just to try and clear the wave and get a bit of damage on Oman, who also used the Pop Blossom in his own. So, Wooljo, now hovering towards the mid lane, can't find any Raptors, will maybe just path back towards the bot lane. But it seems like the dust has settled on the Rift, nothing's really happening, it's just pressure being put as Wooljo will look to start up the first Drake.
Yeah, but I mean, he has full control of bot side. The only real way that you'd be able to contest this would be to force through mid in towards bot, but you'd have to be able to make a play on the Draven and Mumu, and you're not in a position to do that. Double longsword cull on the Draven versus only Doran's Blade tier on the Ezreal, and we already talked about the item discrepancy that the Jarvan had at that point. There's no feasible way for you to contest bot side as Nord right now, so they're just going to have to give up this Drake. It could be a lot worse, and Nord can tell themselves that at every single point. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah, it could be a lot worse. I mean, that's definitely a good trade from the side of Uniq down towards the bot side. The flash is coming up soon for Hito, so should be able to survive pretty much anything when that comes back up with the cleanse as well. Arcane Shift will be there to get him out to safety. Both Voljo and Indecision hovering around the area yet again. Bot lane certainly the hot topic of action, and you know, they get the CC onto Hito. Good damage as well. Rusty Sniper should be able to pick it up. No, Voljo takes it. Why would you take that? The adoration stacks won't be cashed in, and Poopy will fall in revenge. It is a 1-for-1, and they failed to get the cash in on Rusty Sniper.
That was definitely a questionable decision there. You'd obviously really love the gold to be going on the Draven, and that was your moment, but a successful 3v3 nonetheless. Ezreal missing out on so much golden XP here, which should theoretically make the next dive even easier. Gold being on the Jarvan, generally, I wouldn't say that's terrible, just obviously you have that adoration stacks thing going on here with the Draven. So long as the Jarvan's going to now translate that lead into cashing in more adoration stacks of Draven, it could still be fine, because getting gold on the jungler, getting jungler first item, that's the most dramatic spike you can have in the game. Your jungler's an item ahead of the enemy jungler, you win every 2v2, you win every 3v3, you win everywhere on the map, right? So there is a way that they could still bring this back, but ultimately, if they don't bring it back, that's going to be a moment where they look back saying, this was the moment where we could have started winning the game, and we didn't take it. So it's a lot on Jarvan to make up now.
Rusty Sniper almost died to the turret as well. Lucky to survive, but about 50 HP. That will keep his adoration stacks alive. One good play is still all it takes to really get that snowball rolling. And as you said, it will only get easier with all the gold they have gained on Voljo. It will be tankier. He'll do a bit more damage as well. And as the plates slowly but surely fall, they'll feel less and less safe on the bot lane. Hito being put very far behind here, 20 CS. He has also got now 1 death, 0 plates to his own name. It is not an, unclimbable deficit he finds himself in, but it's definitely not a good start to his career here in the NLC. The Malta player, 50% of the Maltan player base, now in the NLC.
True.
Regardless though, Hito staying alive.
I do want to draw attention to something big that's happened on the map, though. That was, in fact, the 7-minute timer on bot side to do a recall into top side Herald, and Vi noticed they couldn't do it. Ooh.
The flash timing was absolutely brilliant there from Hito. Barely surviving the EQ flash combo from Voljo. Poopy. Very nice. Bandage toss. Curse of the Sad Mummy came out as well. They got the 5-minute cooldown, but it was at the price of one of their own here for the side of Uniq. So it isn't perfect, but it's still a trade they'll take.
I want to see where this Herald that Vi was actually able to grab gets dropped. Very good use of the timings to be able to do that. Nico has TP'd bot, is on the minion. Let's see if they fall for it.
Can you count Uniq? I think they can count. Oh no, he just flashes forward, he doesn't care! He gets the knock up, and there goes the adoration stacks! 10 minutes worth of gold just evaporates, and that is absolutely massive for Nord.
There are two things that Indecision was and Indecision no more able to play with that. One, they were able to know that even though Draven and Mumu were getting the recall on the 7-minute timer bot, that they were not going to play around the Herald top, because it's better for Draven to just go bot side and keep trying to get golden XP. If a contest happens top and Draven's able to get gold XP solo, that's going to be better for him ultimately than forcing the fight top side there. So they grabbed the Herald off that, but knowing that it's better for Uniq to play around bot side.
Yeah, I mean, Iman in trouble here. Oh,
he should be fine.
This comes through.
What?
That's Yuko. Solo kills. I don't think that was supposed to happen. Back to the mid lane, shutdown as well. Uniq find 2 quick kills and they're right back in the game.
Yeah, so things are happening across the map here. All right, so top side, Ornn is able to finish Abyssal Mask before Gwen is able to get a recall and get this. On this item, this is the item where Gwen becomes invincible on top side and you basically can't fight her. Anything you do has to be done on there. Vi wasn't actually doing much around that. And Jarvan didn't have to do anything into the Ornn either because he's happy to trade, but the Ornn's able to pick himself up the kill on that crucial timing.
Yeah, Bandage Touch goes wide. Let's see if Rusty Sniper can get some kills here. Regardless, no, they instantly stop the dive as soon as they see Indecision. It is Poopy who falls yet again victim to their own play. I don't know what to feel.
The problem here, you've had advantages in certain areas, and none of them are the areas that you need to have your advantage on. Uniq can be happy that Ornn was able to get a kill on top side, that they were able to make a play on Omen in the mid lane, but ultimately, that's going to be all for naught if this Draven isn't able to carry the later stages of the game. Draven isn't the same beast that he used to be, where you just scale naturally into the game. Since the item rework, he is much more dependent on those early games going well. He can snowball really hard, but he's still dependent on those snowballs happening. The gold has gone on the Ezreal, which is really going to help with his curve.
Oh,
but,
Hito, locked up though for ages. Another bandit shot comes through, and as soon as things look good, they take a turn for the worst here for Nord, as now Amon could be the one in trouble. We'll have Seneca on top of him, so should be able to get out. Flash bandit shots, no Pop Blossom coming through. Knocks up 2 Might. Want to try and turn this around as Poopy, the one who needs to be killed by Rusty Sniper, cashes in. Poopy still yet to fall as indecision, unable to make it work. And now Seneca right back in the front line. Double kill for Unicorn. And it is Uniq with a fantastic sequence of plays.
When it came to plays on set timings, this mid-jungle were doing really well. Indecision in particular, you could see that he understood the timings he needed to play around. He understood when Jarvan had to be top because he just had to be bot while you're doing Herald top. He understood all these kinds of things. But now when it comes to a play is happening, we should start reacting to things that are going on. You can start to see the cracks form. They extended much too far there in the decision that had to be made in the moment, and have been punished for that summarily by Uniq. And now Uniq may be brute forcing a win condition on Uniq Corn in mid lane on that Victor. He's 3-1-1, he has his first item completed, he has a stopwatch, which insulates him from at least one Nico play. They have a mid-jungle duo that is fed despite not really working together for most of the game and purely playing reactive to Nord's decision-making. That's something Uniq could try to do to win a first-team fight that could maybe then propel Rusty Sniper on the Draven and potentially give them win cons for the rest of the game.
Very promising start here for Uniq. 4,000 gold ahead. It is a certainly lead they can't be proud of going up against the third place team from last split. Obviously not with a fully changed roster. The coaching staff still remains the same. A good start for Mon has been neutralized and now might take another turn for the worst here as he's locked within the Cataclysm and he's just set to go down. Unicorn picks up the kill. He's now on a rampage. As you said, no flash on Amon to get out.
Yeah, flash was about 10 seconds before it was coming up, so they did the timing very well. You'd like to do that play 30 seconds later, but they did it 30 seconds later. It would be a flash burn and not a kill. Damn. So a really good decision that they made to do that. The Herald on top side's the next big play both teams should be thinking about. The setup is entirely in favor of Uniq, and it's from their mid-jungle, which is the opposite of what we thought we would be saying, especially after the way that the game opened.
Yeah, the level 2 was so good for Nord, and they were able to find a solo kill then for first blood for Amon in the mid lane. Now, they're losing second Herald. We're looking at a 4-1-1 Unicorn. Wojo being 2-0-5 as well, involved in 7 out of 8 kills. The only one he wasn't involved in was a solo kill from Yuko. It is such a great start here for Uniq, a roster I simply didn't know what to expect of, as now Yuko might be a bit too far forward. In this decision, could look to get something back. The Trucha Barrage helps out. He should die into a couple autos, right? But no, the Empowered Fruits heals a lot, but in the end, he does still fall, but it will be traded for a turret in the mid lane.
And a turret on bot lane, though, with Bounty, is going over to the Gwen. The Gwen's already at a point where the Ornn's too scared to fight her. The Gwen's going to continue to accelerate. But yeah, this mid turret should give a bit more room for Uniq to try to counter the playstyle that Nord want to do. Nord want to be the guys that are in their opponent's jungle, but to do that, you have to get mid priority. And now if Ezreal Yuumi do that, there's a much longer lane in mid to run them down on. And that's what Draven really loves. Draven wants to be able to run you down there. He has the Collector, he has the Trinity Force, he has a lot of damage right now. He's definitely still ahead of the Ezreal. So this is a very vulnerable point that Nord have to consider on every single rotation.
Yeah, this is really a good situation for Uniq. If they can build on this for the next 5-10 minutes, I'll be really impressed from them. Regardless, let's see what happens, because for Nord, I mean, the stranger looking at here, Kashkash, yes, he has been solo killed once, but he's scaling up, as you said. The Ornn now too scared to fight him. That's something they could play through, maybe to get some more side-in pressure, get more of these turrets with the bounties on them. Other than that, maybe wait for Hito's second item, and then he hits that power spike, but I'm kind of grasping at straws here for Nord.
No, I mean, honestly, at this point, I think the Gwen's already too much to deal with, so it's about, can you accelerate a push through mid faster than Gwen can do stuff on sides? And if that ever gets disrupted even once, then the entire map changes for the rest of the game. So Uniq still have to maintain this map state pretty much until they kill the Nexus, or I'm still thinking the game goes in favor of Nord.
And no posturing for
Herald's good for
potential
that, though.
engage. Yeah, really good Herald. Takes the tier 2 down as well. That is a very, very happy Uniq who can recall now. Having really opened up that mid lane. They have 2 Drakes as well. And they should be coming up in a couple of minutes. So things are going their way.
Yep.
2 items as well has been hit on Rusty Sniper. As we've talked about, he's definitely still ahead of the Ezreal. No doubt about that. He's 40 CS ahead. Obviously got that many plates. So despite him not getting the big adoration cash in, he is still very far ahead. And he needs to try and utilize that in the next couple of minutes. As they have now settled in a kind of 4-1 formation.
Gwen wants to be getting Ornn back towards side lane, Victor back towards side lane, and then basically run through river towards the enemy team faster than they can be a part of it, right? Or at least burn their TP on that play and then reset again. But Victor is ahead on the map versus the Gwen. There's no pressure on Uniq to have to recall and deal with the Gwen here, when if Gwen keeps going and Uniq keep going, Uniq will just end up taking the base before Gwen's even on tier 3 tower. So it's on the Gwen to have to recall and try to make a play happen here. So we're looking at these flank wards, we're looking at the Unleashed TP, we're looking to see if Nord can try to force something, but Nord don't really have a composition that's designed to force anything at all. Uniq, they have their hands on the steering wheel of this game, they are not letting go.
Yeah, they can just take a 3rd Drake. That's a soul point now as well. Secured for Uniq. I think that's fair to say. Decision not looking likely to go for the 50-50. So this little Kashka shading away at that tier 2. Should be able to take it with the bounty. Ornn has been called, so might try and stop him from the push. He will be able to get it now though. Able to get out as well. Just simply use the ghost to get that extra bit of movement speed. 20 minutes will be hit soon. 1.5 minutes till the Baron spawns, and Uniq looking to take that maybe veteran to, accelerate the pace of the game.
I mean, Ornn was feeling an all-in there because the Gwen had absolutely 0 mana. But look at the map now. The Drake was actually a very crucial trade. Sure, it gives you soul point, but now look at the wave bot and look at the wave top. If Gwen goes to either side there and you match her on the opposite side of the map, you're actually now going to be behind her. So with Nico pushing out on bot there, with Gwen getting the tier 2 on top to even the tempo while you traded that tempo for the Drake, you're actually now in a much more vulnerable map state than you were in the previous rotations because of the decision to do that Drake. Look where Gwen is now, look where Gwen's about to threaten. Is Ornn really anywhere near able to threaten that? No. So Uniq now finally have to split up. The question is, can Nord capitalize on that and finally get deep vision in a jungle that has been completely blank for them for a while? That's what Kakos and the rest of Nord have to be setting up now.
With the Baron spawning in 15 seconds, Uniq certainly have their eyes on it. Indecision could obviously look for the 50-50 as both Flash and Smite available. But it would be a big flip. 2 stopwatches worth noting on the side of Uniq. If Nord just dive, onto Sniper should be able to cleanse and get that stopwatch out. So to keep himself safe for an extra while, Unicorn just realized has also finished the Sonya's Hourglass 2nd item already. So he's looking strong as well. And looking at the carries of Nord, I mean, they all just have 1 item. Even Kashkash doesn't have 2. And he's been the guy getting so much gold on the sidelines.
That play there, that rotation from Gwen towards mid, that was an attempt to burn the Victor teleport. She's going to try to burn it again by putting out a lot of pressure on bot here. If Victor does not go and match her on this, then Gwen's going to be free to hit tier 2. The only other counterplay possible is going to be starting the Baron and baiting Gwen in, burning Gwen's TP for this play, and that is what Uniq are trying to do.
7k, it's going ever low, and it's happening quite quickly actually. No ward in the pit for now. They can't see it, they don't know how low it is, but Oman doesn't have a ward himself. Indecision just needs to go in if he can, because he's being locked up in the backline. As you say, Rusty Sniper, he's focused out. Indecision dies with 15 HP on the Baron. It's finally gets secured by Uniq, and the fight is just over before it's even begun. Kakash TP's in, unable to really get anything, but he can simply watch his team and their demise as they lose 2 and they get nothing on the other hand.
That was the best response play that Uniq could have done to Gwen moving towards bot side there. Try to force that kind of decision from Nord. Do we go stop the Baron? How do we go and approach it? And what they got was indecision from Nord instead. Immediately dead at the start of that fight. Nico coming in at a wrong timing to draw the focus away from the Vi. Gwen not being able to be in there on time. There was an idea of a contest from Nord, but it came out from too many angles and it came out too slow. It was too indecisive, and Uniq just by forcing that pressure on them, have been able to take control of the map back. And now it looks like the game is squarely theirs. Draven is on the board now, 2-1-3. This Victor's 4-1-1. This Jarvan 207, a part of every single kill bar one so far. And even though it looks like Ornn and the Mumu have been somewhat chilling the whole game, they've done their jobs. And now a composition that can get split quite easily by the Nord lineup looks like it could be here with the first win and a huge upset in the prediction standings, but I'm pretty sure all of us ended up putting Nord there.
Oh, I think Drew went the opposite. He tried to do a lot of predictions for the upsets last year, but he keeps doing it. Oman though, looking for something, but it's simply just a small bit of damage on Buljo. Kakos, having already used the needlework, now has to dash out. That's really a lot of offensive tools used. They will lose this turret, no doubt about that. Indecision tries to flee the crime scene where they're just watching their Kingdom fall, really. Turrets falling one after the other. He tries to hold up the mid wave, deny a push there. As it is now the reset through from Rusty Sniper. He's hit a third item. And what has just been hit by Nord? Well, I mean, Hito's got his 2-item spike, but that doesn't really compare to a 3-item Raven.
No, at this point in the game as well, with Sunfire coming out, with Zhonya's being out, with the fact that a Mumu exists whatsoever, you are looking at trying to go for much more pen, in the form of your slow super armor pen item, and then you're really scaling in. Ezreal curves in on 3-4 items.
Man.
That's how it's scaling a time.
I mean, he took the bandage trust for 5,000 miles, even through the upgraded popcorn thingy as it is. Oman, who gets absolutely outplayed by Poopy, who will get the kill. It's a 1-for-1 in the end, but support for mid. I mean, you take that. It was a solo kill? God damn.
Yeah, it was indeed a solo kill. Nico, tempting to find something in the jungle, but instead Amumu finds her and says, "This is my jungle. Yes, I know I am playing support now, but this is still my jungle. Please let me believe." And Nico, a believer herself, gave Amumu back his faith in his rightful place.
For Soul now, veteran. And Nord are missing their mid lane. And the guy who has 3, I mean half of their kills, 50%. I can do some math, yes. As the Drake now falls to 7.8k HP. Uniq very far forward actually, Woljo. And Yuko right behind him, those who if an engage comes. There's definitely front line to back it up. They go in, Uniq just simply goes golden. And now the fight looks to be a horrible situation for Nord to find themselves in. They can't get out, they can't get anyone. They lose 3, make it 4 as well as Hito will simply try and run, but he's getting chased down regardless of how many arcane shifts he has. It's a triple kill for Rusty Sniper. It's a soul for Uniq, and this looks to be a set win for them as well.
I'd love to talk about how Gwen with Yuumi on top of her is basically a juggernaut preventing Nord from being able to get on top of that Drake. I'd love to talk about how Ezreal Yuumi is exactly what we'd want in these situations, because they can poke you down if you're forced to stay within a general area, and Uniq don't actually have much to say to counter, but all of that is thrown out the window if I just witness my jungler roll into 5 people, then go on the other side of them relative to the Drake pit, and just straight up die. At that point, it's just a soul for Uniq, and now it's a question of when the game will end, rather than if in Unique's favour.
This is a really shocking performance from Nord, but I want to put the credit over to Uniq because they showed up, they punished mistakes after Nord had a really decent early game, I would say. I thought they had the game in the bag already, to be honest. They were looking solid, they were making the right steps, and one massive mistake and an incredibly nice punish from Uniq flipped the whole game on its head, and they've just been relentless ever since, not giving up the neutral objectives, not giving up many kills either. It's a really good performance to kick off their split here. They had a disappointing spring not making playoffs, but if this little performance is going to continue, they could definitely make a surprise run that way. As the game not fully over, I mean, you said it is, and I can kind of see why. I actually see why you say that, veteran, but I mean, maybe there's still a 1% chance,
You mean
right?
the Soul, the inhibitor, the massive gold leads, the Baronas...
The 3-item Draven against the 2-item Ezreal? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about.
Kind of feels like the game's kind of done here.
I mean,
The Drake was a Hail Mary, but it's clear that whereas Nord have put together a lineup where you can see how it will do well, they did give themselves the harder draft to execute. They gave themselves a winning draft in theory, but the steps to do that are much more complex than Unique's, which is, you know, basically like when I'm doing airplane noises into like a baby's mouth and then add a bunch of explosions for fun. That's pretty much how I would describe Unique's composition, whereas Nord are trying to perform a full 3-star Michelin menu. They're doing the 9 course as well, and unfortunately Their only experience right now is, you know, doing cooking at the Burger King. So
I mean, let's see
a
what
bit
Ormond
more
has to do here.
complex
He's
on
behind
Lord's
5 men.
side.
He has been spotted. Oh, he gets a good knock up. It's on 4. But it just doesn't matter, man. You're too far behind in the game. You get Voltio down to half HP. That should be a prize in and of itself. He's unkillable this game. As Poopy now looks to chase down Hiddo. Oh my god, what a performance from Uniq. They've kicked off the split, banging another triple kill for Rusty Sniper. He had a slow start, but Uniq came online, and they have just dumpstered Uniq Esports in the first game of NLC Summer 2023. Uniq, they get a massive upstep to kick off the split.
Nord aren't able to pull off the 3-course menu. In fact, it is Uniq that have been cooking. We wanted to know what we'd see from them, and they have delivered. We're seeing another strong